Hi students, today's topic is comparative adjectives for comparing two things. Nouns are names of things. Example, car, bicycle, house, dog, person. Adjectives describe nouns. They tell us information about the noun. For example, big house, red house. Or they can tell our opinion about that thing. Ugly house, beautiful house. A common mistake in English is putting the adjective after the noun, but we don't say, I live in a house big. We say, I live in a big house. Remember to always put the adjective before the noun. When we want to say how one noun is different from another noun, we use comparative adjectives. For example, bigger, colder, taller. We can use comparative adjectives to compare things, places, and people. To make a sentence comparing two things, we use this formula. Noun 1, be verb, comparative adjective, than, noun 2. Example, Einstein is smarter than me. Let's try another example. What is the difference between these two cars? One car is new and fast. The other car is old and slow. The white car is newer than the black car. How many adjectives can you see in this sentence? White, black, and newer. Newer is the comparative adjective. I'm going to show you how to make comparative adjectives. For most one-syllable adjectives, we simply add er to the end of the adjective. New becomes newer, fast, faster, old, older, slow, slower. Now, look at these one-syllable adjectives, big, fat, and hot. These adjectives finish with letters that are consonant, vowel, consonant. For adjectives that finish in consonant, vowel, consonant, we must remember to double the consonant, then add er. Bigger, fatter, hotter. For two-syllable adjectives that end in the letter Y, you change the letter Y for IER. Crazy, crazier. Lazy, lazier. Happy, happier. Angry, angrier. For most other adjectives with two or more syllables, don't change the adjective. Just put the word more before the adjective. More famous, more generous, more interesting, more expensive. We do the same for adjectives ending in ed, ing, full, or less. More tired, more boring, more stressful, more careless. Irregular adjectives are all different, so we have to practice them until we remember them all. Here are some common irregular adjectives. Good, better. Bad, worse. Far, further. Many, more. Be careful not to make this common mistake. We don't say gooder or badder. It's better or worse. Now that you understand how to make comparative adjectives, let's practice putting them in sentences. Remember this formula. Thing 1, be verb, comparative, than, thing 2. Pepsi is sweeter than Coke. Sweet has one syllable, so we just add ER. Pepsi is more expensive than Coke. Expensive, 3 syllables, so we don't change the adjective, but we put more before the adjective. Can you make a sentence with these two things and the adjective interesting, 3 syllables? Pause the video and press play when you want to check your answer. English is more interesting than TV. Compare watching TV with learning English. Watching TV is more boring than learning English. Expensive. That's 3 syllables, so we don't change the adjective and we add more. A Ferrari is more expensive than a Toyota. Working is more stressful than studying. Good work, genius. Now, try making these comparative sentences on your own. Pause the video and press play when you want to check your answers. Don't forget to use the formula. Number 1. Summer is hotter than winter. 2. Football is more exciting than bowling. 3. Horses are faster than cows. 4. Apple is better than Android. 5. August is colder than January. 6. My grandfather is older than my father. 7. I'm more tired than my friend. 8. The sun is further than the moon. 9. This movie is more interesting than that movie. 10. Europe is bigger than Asia. To say that two things are the same, we use this formula. Thing 1 is as something as thing 2. Coke is as sweet as Pepsi. Pepsi is as good as Coke. To say that two things are not the same, we simply make this into a negative sentence by adding not after the verb to be. Coke is not as sweet as Pepsi. Pepsi is not as good as Coke. Notice that these two sentences have a very similar meaning. Sentence number 1 highlights the positive, and sentence number 2 highlights the negative. Finally, let's practice making comparative sentences to express your opinion about these things. You can use the adjectives on the screen or your own ideas. Pause the video and practice speaking.